Hello Aries, thank you for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Daily Tarot. It's by Renata Lechner, she's the creator. There's how you spell her name and how you spell Daily. And the supportive oracle cards are by Lucy Cavendish, the magical spell cards. Relationship first, single second, Aries. Aries. Okay, so I am getting, it seems to be centered or starting, I should say, from an action your partner is taking. Now, don't get caught up in the gender before I show you these cards, because they're both queen cards on your partner's side, but it doesn't mean anything about the gender of the person. It means a passion. To me, queens are passionate. There's a lot of emotion with them. To me, it's the driving force of the world. Without passion, nothing happens. So you could have a great situation, a great building, whatever, but if there's no passion to live in it, it's worthless. So there's a lot of passion here. And I'm getting the Queen of Swords with the Queen of Wands. I feel your partner is communicating and taking action at the same time. These are very complementary energies, in my opinion. They're getting things going. They're taking action, they're telling you what's going on, but they're moving forward and they're just making things happen. And I'm getting, like, the challenge starts off right in the beginning. The challenge for your partner is the Three of Pentacles. Because I feel like whatever they're moving forward on and they're communicating with you about, it needs to be developed a little farther. I feel like they're starting off at a run, but it's one of those things where they need to kind of maybe slow up the pace a bit and kind of reinforce what they're doing a little more. Maybe double check, triple check what they're considering and just kind of refine the process for a better outcome, because I feel like I don't feel like it's been built up enough. It needs to be a little bit more refined. Let's say that. Because when I feel you catching into this, they're communicating, they're taking action. You have no problem with them going forward. You have no problem helping them with that. You've got the Ace of Cups. I feel like you're all about it. You're like, yeah, if that's what you want to do, I can help you. And I'm getting with you, you're standing in the spot of the star, and you got the love for your partner. Like, you're hoping for the best, but I do think that you're seeing something is a little off. But you're definitely in a very supportive state. And you're hopeful this is going to work out, but you're just kind of like, and you're still helping, but part of you's got this. It's like this little inkling in the back of your brain saying, something's a little off. This might not work out as planned. And your challenge card is to listen to that, to think it over, to let that thought go through your mind, to really feel it out. What doesn't feel right here? What doesn't sit right with you? Because it's not about, like, trying to stop your partner or cause any type of roadblock. That's not at all. But I feel like there's a concern. Like, you don't want it to come off that way either, so you're trying to be supportive. But there's a little, like, inkling, like, something's not right here. And it's not like they're doing something purposely. I feel like they haven't thought something out completely. And if you think about it, and if you let it go through your head, it might come to your forefront, like, oh, wait a minute. Almost like you're planning a trip and you're just like, all right, we got 2-3 days down the line here, and then what? Like, you didn't book any type of travel, or like you want us to go here, here, and there, but how are we getting here, here, and there? Like, are we taking a plane? Are we taking a boat? Like, are we renting a car? What are we doing? Because I feel like part of you is like, it's just like something is egging at you, like something is a little off here. Just there's something that wasn't completely planned out fully. Because I'm getting you would prefer just to go along and support your partner and let them do what they want to do. I'm getting part of this is like you want them to take control. And you want this to be their thing. But I feel like your supportive energy, like, I feel like one of the things here is like you don't want to sound like you're criticizing. You don't want to be like, this is great. By the way, don't forget the third day you didn't book any way for us to get around. You might want to do that. I don't know if you saw it or not, but I noticed it, and I just thought I'd let you know. But you don't want to. You don't want it to come off like criticism. You don't want it to come off like you're proofreading or proof checking or whatever you want to say. Like you're seeing if they're doing it right. You're noticing this. If you really give yourself a second, you'll see where the flaw is, and it's better that you notice it now for their benefit. And I feel like the Five of Swords is saying, you know what? It's not really the way you want this to work out, but it's better if you do. It's better if you do just say what you're seeing. Because I feel like the fruitless victory card here, that's what I call the Five of Swords, the fruitless victory. It's working out by you coming forward and like the authenticity, like saying, I see this isn't right. This could be a problem down the road. I just thought I'd let you know just in case you didn't see it. It's like, it's one of those things where you're right, and it's good that you did that, but you're not feeling overjoyed that you were right. And you have to come forward with this or it's going to cause problems later. It's like you're not enjoying the victory. That's this card for me. You're not enjoying the victory because it's kind of like you're right, but it's not like you want it to be. It's not like you want it to be pointing that out, but it's better that you do. And I'm getting for you, the Ten of Cups happens. By you putting that forward, the situation does work out quite well for you, your partner, and anybody else involved because you point this out. I am noticing on your partner's side the Hierophant card. Maybe they get a little too excited every now and then, something like that. Or it was a minor oversight. It wasn't a big deal, and you didn't make a big deal about it. I'm feeling like when you do bring this forward, because I feel like it's better that you do, you don't make a big deal about it, but I feel like to them, it's kind of like, it's almost like they fell short again. And I feel like the Hierophant is telling me that it's kind of like same old, same old. Like they kind of dropped the ball a little bit. I feel like they're kind of hard on themselves about this. You're not making a big deal about it. They're making a big deal to themselves. I don't feel like they're complaining to you, but I feel like they're kind of beating themselves up about it. Like, I let them down again. I let my partner down again. I feel like they're having one of those moments. And I'm getting the Page of Pentacles. Like, everything is working out. But I'm getting, like, the problem I'm seeing with your partner is their thoughts might be getting the better of them. You're not feeling this way. I don't feel you kind of like coming down on them or like you're like, you screwed it up again. I don't feel like that is at all coming from you. I feel like they are doing that to themselves. I do feel that. And I feel like once you realize that, because I feel at some point you will, I'm getting just some positive reinforcement. Even if you have some own stories of your own, like, I've done things like that before. I've made that mistake myself, so I think this worked out great for you, or just bringing some more humanity to it so that they stop beating themselves up. I feel like that's what's happening. Because I'm getting your energy going towards them is very fun-loving, very inclusive. And they're saying, like, the advice here to handle this, because I feel like your partner's going to do that. If this reading is hitting, I feel like your partner's going to beat themselves up mentally. The best way for you to handle that, they're saying, is just to keep this situation lively, have fun, don't over-center on it. Like, if you notice it, acknowledge it a little bit, put some positive reinforcement, and then move it on like it's not a big deal. And keep things going, keep things fun, just distract them from that. Don't give them too much time to think about it. Because I'm getting, if you can just put a little bit of positive reinforcement, keep the situation going, have some fun, don't over-center on it, you'll be happy, you'll have a good time, and they'll improve. If that's something they're doing, this is like a pattern with them. I mean, you're not going to fix it in 2 seconds. It's just not going to happen. But you can circumvent this moment at least. Because I'm getting what makes things better for them is the Seven of Swords, which is kind of like walking away. They feel like, when they get the Seven of Swords, like what makes them better is like to really let it go. To just walk away from it. Because they feel like they're putting too much stock in this situation. You helped them out. It was a good thing. But I feel like they're putting too much emphasis on what had to be corrected. Too much emphasis. And what makes it better is for them to just sneak away from it. It's almost like they feel like they're getting away with something by letting it go. It's a little odd feeling for me, to be honest with you. And to realize that, you know what, they're not meant to be perfect. You know, I feel like whatever the situation is, I don't feel like it's that out of the norm. Like, I feel like it's a normal thing. Like, some things, there's oversights. That's why there's two of you in this relationship. So one can back up the other. That's the whole purpose. Like, that's one of the big purposes of a relationship. So one can back up the other and vice versa when necessary. Like, and I feel like the beauty with the romance is, like, they need to realize this is a relationship. You're not meant to just be perfect every time. That's one of the reasons you have a partner. That's one of the reasons they have you in their life, because they need that proof check, and sometimes you're there for them. Maybe not as often as you are for them. You know, but but still, it's there. I don't know why that's coming through that way. It feels a little weird, but they have value, and they need to remember that. And this is just, it's fine. Nothing is wrong. You're not upset. Things still worked out. You know what I mean? The fact that you're able to see these things, that's fine. Some people do have these lives, and I don't know why I'm bringing this forward, but maybe it makes sense to you. Some people do have lives where they're constantly falling short, and somebody else helps them figure it out or fix things. Like, and there's a purpose for that, because there's a bond, there's a trust. They're building trust in humanity. They're realizing they're a piece of something, and they're seeing that it's working together that makes it work out for them, and it's not doing it on their own. Sometimes there's like things like this where there's always like a hitch, or there's a spot that's not quite right, and a second person will see it, or maybe even a third person will see it. And if this happens repeatedly over and over and over for this person, it could be just to make sure they stay engaged with people. They don't do things on their own, and they realize the value in other people. It could be like a lifetime thing. And the challenge is for them to stop beating themselves up, because especially if it's a repetitive thing, they need to stop beating themselves up and just like accept that they do need help every now and then, and it's good. Like, the situation goes to the next level. I don't know why I'm going through that, but it's coming out that way, so there you go. If that's value, great. If it's not, just keep going. All right, let's do Aries single. Single Aries. Okay. I've had this happen where months will go by, and I'll go back and look at one of my old readings, and I think it was Aries, and then it just kind of hits for me, and I'm just like, I can't believe I read for myself. But it's so months past, like, I didn't even remember the reading. But so that's kind of like when I'm reading Single Aries, and I'm just like, I'm wondering if this is going to play in for me at some point. So I'm just curious what we're going to get here. Even though I am a Pisces, but I got very strong Pisces or Aries energy going on for me sometimes as well. I very much enjoy Aries energy, I have to say. Alright, so what's going on here? What did I just do? This is single. This is interesting. So, somebody's coming forward to you. Alright, this is a weird layout, and I just realized I did it, but we're going to go with it. This is single. Somebody is coming forward to you with an offer of love? No. Somebody's coming forward to you, and they're coming forward to you. They want more of your attention, they want more of your time. But with the Queen of Cups here, she's very interesting. I love that card, especially the way she's depicted here, because sometimes she's a little bit secretive about how she feels. Other times, she just wants to look a little closer at that cup. And she's just like, yeah, I know how I feel, but should I really be drinking this cup? Like, should I really be going here? I've experienced her as being very, very passionate, but very strong. If she decides that a cup isn't for her, but she does have those feelings, she can put down the cup. If she decides it's best, she can, and she's very strong like that. I view the Queen of Cups as a very strong personality, a very emotionally evolved person. They know how they feel, but they're also like, you know what, if this isn't for me, then I need to put down this cup. Well, she's more likely to throw out the liquid, but still, she'll put down the cup if necessary. And I'm getting this person seems to be coming towards you, and they want to know more about you. they're trying to inspect, like, they know that they could fall for you. I feel like they know that they could fall for you. And they want to know more about you. They want to get a better look at you. They want to get a better look at your life and how things are going. And, like, would you fall for them? Because I'm getting they're coming towards you, and I'm getting the way they're coming towards you is very complimentary. Because I got the Nine of Cups, and I feel like you're liking this. They seem to be very fun and playful. They seem to be putting a lot of things in front of you, and I still don't think you know exactly what their intention is. Even if they're asking you out on a date, you're just kind of like, why are you asking me out on a date? Like, are you really interested, like, long term, or is this just a short term? Like, you just think I'm fun and you just want to hang out for a couple minutes? Like, what's the deal? You don't know exactly where they stand. It does feel a little elusive in that sense. And I'm getting with this other person who's coming towards you, they have the Ace of Pentacles. See, they have to calm down a little bit. I don't know how that sounds. I'm getting, they need to, like, relax, because I feel like they're maybe a little too intense with trying to get to know you. Like, I feel like the 20 question bomb might happen. Like, just where they just throw in question, and you're just like, oh, okay, like, I don't know what chapter of that book you're on, but do you have to write the book? Like, let's calm down. Because I feel like that's a challenge on the other side, the person coming towards you. They really want to get to know you more. And they want to see if you could fall for them, but they also want to see what type of person you are. They feel like you're very mysterious to them. And they just want to kind of figure you out. But I feel like their challenge card is the Ace of Pentacles. It's like, you know, let's not start looking at houses. Let's just enjoy this walk. We're just walking down the street. Let's not, like, walk down the street looking for houses to buy. Let's just enjoy the walk down the street. I don't know if that analogy makes sense. Excuse me. But I'm getting, like, they might be a little bit too intense to start, a little bit too goal-oriented. Just so you're aware. Not a bad person, just, like, I'm feeling like they want somebody to be in their life, and they want to choose correctly, and I don't feel like they're really into the whole dating scene, to be honest with you. I'm getting they're trying to shortcut the dating part and find somebody to start building a relationship with. And that's why this might be coming across a little too intense, just so you know. Now, what I'm seeing here on your side with the challenge card is the Six of Pentacles. And I'm noticing it feels like it's matching this Ace of Pentacles. Now, I do feel like it's going to be a little too intense. And I feel, though, if you know what's happening and why they're doing it, the advice here is for you to be a little bit more giving with that information. Just let them just answer the questions at basically where you're comfortable, of course. But they're saying, like, just let the conversation flow. Even if they're a little too intense, you might want to just kind of go with it. Because I don't feel like they're going to find out anything that they can use against you anyway. But you might be I feel like it just make you a little uncomfortable. Like, I'm kind of like, this is a little intense. Like, I don't know if I want to give all that information. But I'm getting also with the Six of Pentacles, your challenge card is like, yeah, give some of that information, but also demand some information back. Like, if they ask you, like, where did you grow up? This is where I grew up. This is where I grew up, and say where you grew up. Where did you grow up? Like, make them balance it out. Balance it out. Six of Pentacles. It's very much like, people look at it as like a charity or a card, like giving or taking. It's like, give that information, but, you know, balance it out. If they want to know where you grew up, tell them. But then, where did they grow up? Keep it going back and forth. Keep it going, because that's really where this has a chance. Keep it going back and forth, and this is why it's in your challenge position. Because I feel like it might be too intense, and you might want to kind of like back off from it and not really answer, or just give like quick answers and just kind of disengage from the conversation. Or worse, you might just answer the questions as they come to you, maybe not fully, but answer them and not get information back. And they're like, make sure you keep it going back and forth. Let them ask questions, but you ask questions too. Good? Okay. They're like, put it down. Put it down. All right, so the question here is this a match for you? Is this a match for you? Because what I'm getting here is this is something like this person, it feels like they could be too intense. And I'm getting, the thing is what makes things better for them is like they really need to think about, you know, the quality of the person you are rather than, like, I feel like they might be a little too caught up in details and they need to just look at who you are and how you relate to them. And I'm getting like judgment goes in their favor if they just look at you in the sense of like how you interact with them and how you interact with people around you. And I feel like that's what they need to shift. I feel like they have to step away from like the cold hard facts and just watch you and how you talk and how you talk to people and how you talk to them. That's where your greatest value is. That's where the greatest value for them and you is, if that makes sense. And I'm getting that's where the study card with the judgment, like that's going to go well for them if they just look at how you deal with people, how you deal with them. Like there's a really good part of you coming out and it shines very bright is what I'm getting. If they just like go with that and just go from there, like where you grew up and things like that, I just feel like these cold hard facts are just a little bit overdone. I just don't feel like it's that important and they might over center on them. They just got to watch you and how you interact. And this part might partly be into like how they ask all these crazy questions because I feel like that's going to happen. How you react to that. Like if you're graceful and you're answering but you're asking questions back, that's a big thing because I feel like that might be hard for some of you because I feel like all these questions coming at you might be a little bit offensive, kind of like, you know what, you're a little too much. I feel like you might be like, you're a little too much. But if you can just roll with it, because they're not going to get anything they can use against you anyway. If you just kind of roll with it and keep the questions going back and forth, if you balance it out, especially, I feel like that awkward moment will pass by pretty quickly, and they'll realize like when you ask the question back, they're going to see how that feels, and I feel like it'll temper them down a bit because when you ask it back, they'll be like, "Oh, I guess this is an awkward question to answer. I guess it is." Like I feel like you're balancing it that way. Because it keeps going forward. I don't feel like, even if that 20 question thing happens and you don't really care for it, I do feel it moving on, and I feel like the other person is really liking you, and they're trying to push this forward. They're giving you the Ace of Wands. They do want this to go forward based on what they've seen. The question is, do you? Do you? I feel like I just kind of like run at a running pace there. Farrell! Yeah. I wonder if my uncle's outside. Craziness. Farrell! It's clearly not helping. I'm centering on where this is going for you, and I have to be honest. I see the Chariot with the magical powers. Magical powers, for me, is a little different than the Magician card. The more I go with it, the more I feel this card, because it feels more about what was put in front of you, what tools you were given, and what you're going to do with what you have been given. It's kind of like if you are a baker and you're given some flour and some other ingredients, what can you actually make with it? Can you make a cake with it? Can you make cookies with it? Like, what can you do? Like, if you have some flour and a few other ingredients, you don't have any chicken, you can't make a chicken dinner if you don't have it in front of you. Like, but whatever you do have, you're open to make with that. And that's what this card feels like to me. Like, you have certain things in front of you, the situation is laid out in front of you, you have all these possibilities based on what you've been given. What are you going to do with what you've been given? And the Chariot with the Magical Powers card, you're going to make a decision. Is it left or right is the question, because you're definitely, this person, I feel like they're a little over intense. I got to be honest with you. Again, I'm saying that a lot. Why am I saying honesty so much? You got the Two of Swords here, spiritually. Like, I don't feel like you know what to make of this person. Because I feel like they have a lot of positive qualities, but I feel like that that question moment, I feel like that was really a deterrent. I don't feel like that worked out as well. Even if you play into it and you ask the questions back, it just feels a little intense. I feel like it's a little uncomfortable. It's not as fun as you would like a date to be, or whatever it is you're doing with this person is not as enjoyable as you'd like it to be. So I feel like you're seeing a lot of positive qualities. You're attracted to them, but they're a little too intense. The Two of Swords tells me spiritually you're standing in a spot where you don't know what you want to do just yet when that happens, but you're heading to a spot where you're the one who's going to make the decision. Will it go forward or not? Because I do feel like they are interested. Is that making sense? Okay, good. And I'm getting like a little feeling here. Like, I feel like this is trying to go into another level. So what are we trying to say here? Is this for you is the question. I'm getting this person is attractive to you. You do have romantic feelings towards this person, but they're saying stand in that position. I feel like this is advice. Stand in that position with the Emperor. Do you feel this energy is something you would still want to be around a year from now? They're actually, I know this seems like jumping the gun, but I'm going to say, imagine yourself married to this person. Does that sound like a good idea? Because I'm getting like this intenseness this person has, that happens every now and then. That's going to happen every now and then. Can you get used to that happening every now and then, or are you going to be okay with that happening every now and then? Because they're telling me you need to like go, just step above it, just like allow yourself to just have these weird thoughts, like, what if you did get married? What if you had to live with this person? That happened every now and then. How would you feel about that? Is that okay with you? Can you handle that, or is that something that you don't want in your life? Because what makes things better for you, I'm getting the Page of Swords with the Two of Wands. I'm getting you have to like take a little back seat to this person for a moment. You have to get them talking. And this actually might hinge on what they say and how much they talk about themselves, because you need them to actually start telling you about them. And if they don't seem to do that, and it doesn't seem to like reciprocate in that way, I'm getting you're going to move on from this. With the Two of Wands, it's like the future is out there. What do you want to do with it? I have to be honest. I'm not seeing what way you're going to go with this. You got the Chariot with the magical powers, like what's in front of you. You're going to make a decision. Because I'm getting whatever you decide with this person, because I feel like what makes things better again is for you to like really like step back and just watch them, observe them. This card, I don't feel a spying energy this time. I feel it's more observing. It's a lot of intellectual. It's a lot of passive questions. Passive-aggressive questions? No, passive questions. Things where you get them talking and you just kind of say things to keep the conversation going, but you're not really engaging in it too much. You're just kind of absorbing information. This is more of a passive card, but there's purpose to it. You're actively trying to find information, but you're passively participating in a way. You're just keeping the ball rolling. And I'm getting from that, you're going to decide if this is for you or for not. For you or for not. For you or not for you. There we go. This was single, right? Yeah. The way that I laid out these cards is throwing me off. I just don't understand why I did it this way, but this is how it came out. I'm getting you really have to look at this person, because I'm getting, if you actually decide to try this relationship, this could hold on for a while, because I'm getting the other person doesn't give up easy. And if you lock in emotions with each other, I'm getting this could hold on for a long time. And they're just saying, just look at the situation. Is this something you want to do for a while, or is this something that you're thinking isn't really for you? I'm honestly not getting if you're going left or right. You have to make the decision if you like what you're feeling. It's not about the person. It's about, I feel like it's especially that 20 questions moment. If that happens, how did you feel? How did it turn out? When you look back on it, are you just kind of like, ugh? Or when you look back on it, are you kind of like, well, now that I know how they are, I can handle that. That's not a big deal. Because I feel like it's definitely like, it's hinging on that is what I really feel like. It's like, if that happened and you're okay with it, and you're like, going forward, I can deal with that. I know how that works now, we're good. Or if you're kind of like, oh, I really didn't like that moment and I really don't want to do that again, this might not be for you, because I feel like this person does those type of things. It's just who they are. It's not a bad thing. It just may not be for you. All right, they're telling me to wrap it up. All right, so hopefully that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, go ahead and shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.